public school era.
Amun! This is part 3, y'all, of why they gave us Christmas. I'm Chocolate Amun Ra. And we here to break this down by the brother Ray Higgins. Brother Ray Higgins used to be a pastor. He made that pilgrimage to Africa. And he was never the same. Come back. He's now got the African spirituality system in his system. He don't preach false doctrines no more. He don't preach the lies no more. He preached the African system. And now he's trying to re-educate our brothers and sisters, gods and goddesses on earth, about themselves and who you are. Practicing all these false doctrines and these false religions. But this is mainly for the black race, who is so doctrine and so institutionalized and want to believe is real. They want to believe that is so real. They don't want to convert and understand their own heritage and understand their own culture. They want to sell out. They want to say, oh no, I got nothing to do with Africa. I got nothing to do with being a native Indian here south in North America. Oh no. I live in America and I'm living America's dream. I can do whatever I want. And that's a lie. I'm no doctor. I'm no scholar, no preacher, no reverend, no deacon, no bishop. I'm not no archaeologist. I'm not an astronomy. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not science. But I am the messenger. Christmas was forced upon us from our ancestors. And I ain't talking about slavery. And if you want to catch up to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, you got to go to 1 and 2 of class on this subject to understand. Because we're about to get into Ray Higgins. Let's do it.
The demand from our people, black African people, the demand for the existence of the lie is so great, check it out, that many black people have absolutely no idea what they would do if it didn't exist. Black folks who are innately spiritual will tell you, I don't know what I'd do without Jesus. Oh, let me go here with you. I don't know what I'd do if it wasn't for Jesus. I was sharing with a brother just the other day, trying to talk with him. Now, as deep as he called me, I didn't go to him. He came to me and asked me about his predicament. began to share with him some stuff that his psychopathology would not allow. He said, brother, I don't care what you say. I started saying, what the hell you call me for then? If you don't care what I say, why waste my time? And he let me know clear. He said, brother, I don't care what you say. I know that Jesus lives. And I said to him, how do you know it, brother? Really, I mean, come on. You're talking with me on a systematic level. Now talk to me. How do you know this? And guess what he did? He started quoting a song to me. He said, because I serve a risen Savior. He's in the world today. I know that he is living. Whatever men may say. I see his hand of mercy, and I hear his voice of cheer, and just the time I need him, he's always here. I had to be patient with him. I had to be patient with him. Then he went on to say, because I'm waiting for the answer to my question. He went on to say, he lives, he lives. Y'all know the words of the song? What does the rest say? Christ Jesus lives today because he walks with me. He talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. Then he got to my question. He said, you asked me how I know he lives. Guess what he said? He said, because he lives within my heart. I said, thank you, brother. In other words, what you're telling me is it is the figment of your imagination. You have no scientific evidence. He lives within your heart. And I'm going to leave it right there with you. Because I can't mess with that. If that's what you think, then cool. But that doesn't stand up in the courtroom of my mind. He lives within my heart.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Some of you know people just like that. You are so co-native, you're going to explain why Jesus is in your mind, Jesus in your heart. Some of you are just like that. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You have psychologically have convinced yourself that Jesus exists. Some of you don't even want to believe that the black Jesus exists. What is so interesting is that even in the Bible that you read from time to time, it gives you a description of a colored man. But you have converted yourself to believe that Jesus is a white man. But it's in your Bible that in two descriptions in the Bible, which is Daniel chapter 10, verses 6, gives you a description. Revelations chapter 1, 12 through 15, gives you a description of a man of color, melanated man, or black. It helped for you to be identified. You choose not to believe. It's because you don't want to believe. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. You need Christmas. You need Easter. You need the church and all these things because you can't function without it. You don't want to do research. to understand who you are. Some of you are walking a fine line right now. Some of you are walking in the middle of the road. You're not hot, you're not cold, you're lukewarm. Because you're trying to find an identity, you don't want to let go of your Christian heritage. But you don't want to study and do research about your heritage, your culture. You don't want to do that. You want to stay in the middle so you can feel comfortable. Oh no. Oh no. You got to go either left or right. Because even in the Bible tells you, in Revelations, I believe chapter 3, verses 16, when it tells you, not lukewarm, not hot or cold, I will vomit you out my mouth. Because you're useless. You're useless. Gods and goddesses, brothers and sisters, you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Ray Higgins about to drop it heat. Let's put in this work.
Yeah, it is deep. Well, needless to say, I'm the one who got attacked. As a result of this type of demand, this psychopathic demand, those who do not suffer from this psychological impairment, or those who have been delivered from this psychological impairment,
you know that's right,
believing in that which does not exist.
You know that's right.
Those who have been delivered from such are cast aside by those who have not been delivered. Those who have been delivered and do not suffer with this psychological impairment are shunned by those who do suffer with it. Those who do not suffer with this psychological impairment are criticized by those who do suffer with it. And those who do no longer suffer from this psychopathological behavior are often even outright attacked by those who still suffer from such. Yes, a state of war exists in the minds of those who suffer this psychopathology against anyone who would try to free their mind from their psychological impairment. One of the biggest problems, one of the most difficult situations that we have to deal with in the realm of mental health is trying to help a person who suffers from mental illness. You know why? Because they don't know that they're mentally ill. They really don't know. They look normal. They got good jobs, good families, riding fine cars, and are suffering a mental illness. I'll be totally honest with y'all, especially those of you listening to me who fit what I'm saying. Y'all need to put in an insurance claim. Sure. Y'all need to.
I'm glad he brought up that point. I'm so glad he brought up that point because I was about to bring that point up anyways. Again, the point is the fact that a lot of people believe because they're successful in the materialistic world that they don't have nothing wrong with them. And they will convince you that it's nothing wrong celebrating Christmas, Easter, and all these things that they're doing on their lives. Why? It's because they're successful. I have a car, I got a house. You know what I mean? Man or woman, if they have one. And they believe in their mind they're successful. So they can continue on participating in all these pagan holidays. But they don't believe psychologically they are screwed. Psychosis. Point blank. So understand that psychologically Just because you are successful in your craft, in your skill, in your field, doesn't mean that you ain't co-native. Because you are. Or you are psychologically impaired. Understand this. You are psychologically impaired because you convince yourself without the religion, the pagan holidays, that something's missing. But your heritage in your culture is right in front of you, and you don't want to participate. You don't want to inject yourself of trying to get to know this information. Because as long as you are successful financially, then psychologically, you have now convinced yourself that you are fine, your family's fine, if you have a family, that you can do whatever you want. But that is not your way of thinking. It's not the way of your ancestors' way of thinking, and so on and so forth. This is what the white supremacy system over thousands of years have engulfed and held us in bondage, our people. But all people around the world, they bound this information for you to believe it. Now, understand that. Let's get into it. Put to work it.
Some sick time off work. I mean, in the other case, if you're suffering from a mental illness, you can go on disability. I'm serious. According to the dictionary of medicine, to believe in something that does not historically or archaeologically exist, there's no evidence for it, that is mental illness. Try putting that claim in. Let's take a glimpse at history now and perhaps see where these solstice traditions come from. Well, first thing you need to know is long before a so-called virgin-born Savior called Jesus came on the scene from the minds of the Roman Catholic Church, for millennia, thousands of years, midwinter has always been a time of celebration for billions of people around the world, long before the Nicene Council in 325 AD came up with the declaration or the decree that December 25th was to be the day of celebrating the birth of their Romanized virgin-born baby Jesus. People of the world rejoiced when the winter solstice arrived on December 21st. And the reason why they rejoiced is because, see, again now, please understand, we're not talking about Africans. They didn't practice these pagan practices. We're talking about the Euro-Gentile pagans who practiced these pagan practices. And I'm going to tell you why. They would freak out every year. They bug out because the sun, see, they didn't understand the Earth's solar orbit. They didn't understand the axial tilt of the Earth and the movement of the sun upon it. They didn't grab on. See, you got to remember, y'all, white folk thought that the Earth was flat up until 1492. Y'all follow what I'm saying? They thought they...
Woo! Now the reason why I'm injecting here is because a great point has been put out, because now a lot of brothers and sisters are starting to, brothers, and I mean brothers, black men and black women, mainly black men, are trying to argue about the earth was flat. Literally taking this conception that the Europeans thought for hundreds of years that the earth was flat. They only been on this earth for like between 6,000 to 10,000 years. But inject this information, argued, all the way up to 1492, as Ray Higgins explained, that the earth was flat. They believe they're going to be on this sailing ships. They can keep sailing, and all of a sudden it's going to fall over. They sailed and sailed until they found another island, another land. White folks is a trip. Now, this ain't all white folks. But this whole concept is about the European mind frame. And many of these European mind frames that came here to South and North America with the same traditions. They didn't leave it behind. In Europe, England, France, Spain, so on and so forth. They brought this mess here. Remember that America is colonized from Europeans. It's colonized. Don't forget this information. So, now you got black people talking about the flat earth theory. They are regurgitating old information. Now they trying to convince other black people that the earth is flat. I mean, what the hell is going on with our people? This is how you know our people, I mean many, millions of our people, if they believe this theory, are institutionalized. They are co-native to their own belief system that they took from the European concept, regurgitated, and now trying to convince people on social media this exists. When 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you wouldn't even catch a black melanated man or woman even discussing this concept. This is how crazy our people have become. Let's put in this work.
Well, they didn't fall off the edge of the earth. They didn't know it was round. As recent as 1492. You're right. Lord, so not understanding the orbital path of the earth and the axial tilt of the earth and how the sun would hit it, the closer it got to winter, it looked like the sun was moving farther away. So the days became shorter and shorter and shorter, and the nights became longer. And especially being up north, no sunlight, it got colder and colder and colder. So these European pagan Gentiles, they honestly believed that the sun was leaving them. And on December 21st, it looked like the sun stopped going farther away and stopped. And made a U-turn. And started coming back this way. And they got so happy about that. That's called the winter solstice. They got so happy about it that they began to celebrate. It became a time of celebration. Why did it become a time of celebration? Because the Son of God, or God's Son, had become the light of the world. Y'all hear me? The sun that seemingly stopped in its motion died. And for 3 days, it didn't move. Then it rose again on the 3rd day. Y'all getting this thing? So the pagans worshipped something called Mithra. Write it down. M-I-T-H-R-A. Mithra, which was the Persian sun god. Now, let me drop something on y'all, because Mithra dates back thousands of years before so-called Jesus Christ. The Persians taught that Mithra was born of a virgin on December 25th. Y'all hear me? The Persians taught that when Mithra was born, that his birth was witnessed by shepherds and magicians, or something called the Magi, or Magi. Mithra, long before Jesus, the Persians taught that he raised the dead, that he healed the sick, that he cast out demons. Mithra was taught that he ascended to heaven shortly after the vernal equinox, or what we know as Easter. But before doing this, he had a final supper with his 12 disciples. Of course, each disciple represents a sign of the zodiac. The winter solstice, why did they give us Christmas? Again, to induce into the psychology of a people who are spiritual by nature a belief system, a pagan practice that would make impotent those of us who are spiritual by nature. So what people are calling Christmas is really nothing more than the pagan practices of worshiping the sun god Mithra that the Roman Catholic Church incorporated or stole a copy from them and called it Christmas. The winter solstice, now check this out, y'all. The winter solstice was the season to be jolly. That's celebrated in ancient Rome. This festival was called, and still is called, Saturnalia. Write it down. S-A-T-U-R-N-A-L-I-A.
Write it down. Write it down. Write this information down.
Saturnalia, the celebration of it began on December 17th. This was the time. Now check out this deepest thing. During the festival of Saturnalia, this was the time when slaves were no longer slaves. They were allowed to play the role of being the master. Everything in life was easy, and therefore it became a role reversal day, or a role reversal holy day. Now this is really deep, because in the festival of Saturnalia, all classes, whether you were rich or poor, master or slave, guess what, y'all? They exchanged gifts with one another. Y'all hear me? Not only did they exchange gifts, but it was the time of having family feasts together. Is this sounding familiar? You want to know where our practices come from? You want to know why we exchange gifts on Christmas? It comes from the festival of Saturnalia. Now, I know somebody don't like what I'm saying. God, you messing up my Christmas. Good. Good. It's not our day of celebration. Saturnalia was a time of general merriment. It wasn't Merry Christmas. It was Merry Saturnalia. People would participate in games, giving of gifts, abundance of sweet meat.
All right, y'all. Part 3 is over. I'll see you in part 4. I'm going to tell you something. I've been enlightened. Enlightened. Every time I watch this, I find something new. How things are being changed to satisfy the masses of people who's controlling the system. They take from ancient civilization, copied it, reversed, put what they want to satisfy their likeness. So what you celebrate Christmas for? Now you know. See you in 4. I'm Chocolate Amun Ra.